Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be discussing Pokemon Legends Arceus leaks, sort of. Mostly, I'm not going to be talking about a bunch of stuff, but I'm going to focus on the Pokemon forms and new Pokemon in general that we've had revealed. So I'm not going to be talking about any of the other spoilers. We're just going to be talking about Pokemon because I wanted to make a team building video, just like I did with BDSP, only this is gonna be a lot harder, and not because there's a lot to choose from, but because I feel like I'm running out of things to use in the Sinnoh Heatsuite decks, and that's not because there's not a lot of other Pokemon to use, I just don't like some of them. So let's just get into it, right? For the longest time, so okay, let me just preface this by saying Cyndaquil and its line, in general, I mean like the original Cyndaquil and its line here, I wonder if this will key. Oh god, it's keying. This is actually maybe even cooler than the actual Heatsuite Typhlosion. Oh, by the way, this is going to be heavy spoilers. If I haven't already said that. So if you do not want any spoilers whatsoever, get out of Dodge right now, because I am going to be talking about some new forms that have not been officially revealed, and it's just going to be here. So that's your warning. Get out in 3, 2, 1. Heatsuite Typhlosion is a bit of a disappointment. Now, granted, I have not personally seen it with its flames, but I don't know. I don't like its standby fate. I don't like the way it looks like, and it's just like regular standby thing. It's like, it's kind of droopy looking, and maybe it'll grow on me, but I think I definitely like its more aggressive looking counterpart, like its original form way more. Certainly I like its original form without the flames. Again, I have not seen it with the flames, so maybe it looks badass with the flames, but I'm a little disappointed. As far as Decidueye and Samurott go, Decidueye, everybody's getting all angry about it. It's cool, it's got short wings, it's got like whatever, you can't even see its face, blah 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 blah. I don't think it looks that bad. I think it looks fine. I wouldn't say it's my favorite design out of all of the Pokemon shown in this or in general, but I don't think it's as bad as people are saying it is. And actually, I kind of like that it has like a red coloring to it now. Meanwhile, Samurott, I think, is probably the strongest design out of the three of them. I think, again, I wish I had the full picture with Typhlosion. As of now, I don't think anybody has gotten Typhlosion. We just had like data mining for like the static models. So I don't know what Typhlosion looks like with its flames, but I do know what Samurott looks like, and it looks pretty dope. It looks really, really cool. I love that it's like the shells and the armor kind of turn dark. So it's actually making me a little nervous that I might want to use Oshawott over Cyndaquil, even though I love Cyndaquil so freaking much. So therein lies my dilemma. I decided that I wanted to make a team based around Heatsuite and Typhlosion. Fire Ghost, I think that's a cool typing. Again, I'm willing to let it kind of like sit there for a minute because I do want to see it with the flames. I do want to see what it looks like. I think it's interesting that it's the flame sacks or whatever, like the flames will probably be coming out of the front. So if it's got a similar thing as like Braviary, where it's like, oh, the magical element is like kind of covering up certain parts of its face. Maybe that, which is kind of sad because it's like I should like its base form in general too. But maybe it's got like flames coming up and it looks a bit more menacing. Not that every Pokemon needs to look menacing, but in this case, I want to see it with its flames. But this is more of a team building video, I guess, so I shouldn't be talking about, I'm not going to talk about all of the Pokemon. Some I like, some I don't. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. Twofold. I think there are some strong contenders here, and at one point I was going to use Basculegion, and I think I still will, maybe, regardless of whether I use Typhlosion or not. I think Basculegion has a stronger stance of staying on my team if I were to use like Rowlet and get Decidueye, since their typings are completely different. But I'm a little nervous about the double ghost, but that's fine. I can get around that. something that I've been kind of going back and forth with is I'm gonna need something for ground and dragon. And part of me has been, I'm kind of going all over the place. I have a line of things, but the point is I need something for the heavy hitters, right? Ground is a very common typing, and another one's actually electric type, right? So I need the ground, I need something for ground, I need something good against dragon. So where do we go from there? And I've considered maybe Garchomp. That's been on my mind. But also I thought maybe like, well, what if I like Gliscor, and I've never used Gliscor before, so that would be super cool. Not that I've ever really used Garchomp, but I think it would be really cool to use a Gliscor too, and that would give me a flying type matchup too. But then I would need something for dragon type, and maybe a Abomasnow. That would be pretty cool too. My biggest issue, so right now I have a list. So it's like Typhlosion, Basculegion, Gliscor, maybe Electivire, because I've technically used it before in my original Diamond and Pearl play. Well, Diamond play. But I got it from Pokemon Battle Revolution, and it was kind of a really late, like, post-game thing, and I just ended up leveling it up or whatever. So maybe I would have like an Electivire on the team much earlier for a main story, and then Abomasnow. Now here is the tricky part here. At one point in time, I was like, oh, I'm gonna use Sneasel too, because Sneasel had a weird. I've always loved Sneasel, but it's always had kind of a weird slot where it's like the one time I could have used a Sneasel, I had it evolve into a Weavile. It was kind of in a weird spot because my Diamond team was so garbage back then, and I really like Hisuian Sneasel. I don't know how that makes any sense because Sneasel already existed in the Sinnoh region in general, so I don't know how that works. But I really like Hisuian Sneasel. I like that it's got like purple claws because now it's poison fighting type. It's really just kind of a color palette swap, if I'm being perfectly honest with myself. The problem here is that it's evolution. What is it called? Assuming these are actually the names. Sneasler? I don't like that name at all. I don't know if I really like Sneasler. I think Sneasler is it's a longer version of Sneasel. And although I really like its claws, like the black and red, that's really cool. I don't know if I really like it. I don't know. It just seems like, oh, it's a longer Sneasel. I don't know how I feel about that. So that was like another like kind of hit to me where it's like, I had planned on using Typhlosion and Sneasel and Basculegion and whatever. Basculegion's still good. I don't really have any opinion on its female form, but well, I like male Basculegion more. Basculin still sucks though. But yeah, so I'm a little like on the fence here. I'm gonna have a really bad weakness to ground because I know, regardless of what I use at this point, I'm gonna have a terrible weakness to ground, which is kind of why I wanted to use maybe like Gliscor to kind of level that out, and like Abomasnow wouldn't necessarily have any particular weakness to ground itself. And obviously if I had a water type Pokemon in general, anyways, that would be fine anyways. But I wanted, because another choice that I wanted to use is Goodra. Goodra does not look any different, really. So the whole thing with Goodra and Sliggoo is that now they are not just slugs, they are full-on snails, so they have a hard metal shell that they kind of live in, I guess. And they're basically just the same anyways, but they just have a big metal shell on them. I don't know how that works for Sliggoo and how it gets around. Maybe it like goes into the shell and it just spins around. But I don't know. I feel like it's hard to make a firm and informed decision based on the models that we've got, because they're just kind of like, it's not the whole picture, right? We don't have Typhlosion with his flames. We don't see them in their habitat or battling or moving around. We don't see their little intricacies where they're like just like moving around in a little bit and like what their kind of habits are. We don't get to see that, so it's kind of hard to tell what exactly we would need to see in order to know exactly what they look like in the game. One thing I will say, okay, this is like a classic case of like, again, another Pokemon that I'm not 100% sure on. I really like Hisuian Voltorb. I like it. I think it's cute. I think it's adorable. I love the idea. And it's got a grass electric typing, which is super good, or electric grass typing, which is super interesting. I don't think it's ever been done before. And then they kind of went in a boring direction with Electrode. Like, everybody was like drawing stuff up where it's like, oh, what if it gets a mustache using the eyebrows as a mustache, and it's like angry in that way, and it's like super cool that way. But now it's like, oh, they flipped him upside down, and instead of using the facial features that were there, they basically just gave Electrode a normal Electro smile but flipped upside down, and then kind of dug in, like they kind of carved in eyes for it, and it kind of just looks like a regular Electrode, only made of wood, which is a little disappointing. I know a lot of people were disappointed with Voltorb. Well, I don't think that's true, but I know that there was some disappointment in Voltorb in that, like, oh, it's just a Voltorb made of wood. But I think it does something very naturally that Hisuian Electrode does not do. So here I am, and also, okay, so I don't know, I don't have confirmation on this, maybe I'm wrong. I do kind of like Hisuian Qwilfish, and I don't mind its evolution. It's a little dumb. I think I would have done without the spike in the middle of its forehead. But I don't mind them. But apparently they're basically like post-game Pokemon. So I don't know. So I'm kind of all over the place with this. The best team that I could come up with at this point in time is Typhlosion, Basculegion, Gliscor, I guess, and then Electivire, Abomasnow, and maybe like, I guess, Sneasler. I don't like that name, but either way, 'cause that's the other thing. Like without a fighting type, you kind of get like, I kind of need a fighting type there, and that covers that. But again, heavy weakness to ground, which again is kind of okay, because then I have like Abomasnow and Basculegion are there, so it's like, it's covered. But I just don't know. I'm a little on the fence. I need to see Typhlosion with his flames. I don't like Arcanine. I don't like Arcanine. I think they kind of ruined Growlithe's look. And I don't like the weird shoulder pad things with the star in the center and the star on the top of its head. I don't like it. Maybe it looks better in game and in in movement, but I just don't like it. I really, really like Samurott, but I can't seem to come up with a good team right now for it. Maybe something also incorporating Gliscor and maybe Sneasler. If that's actually its name. I just got this. I forget actually where I got this image from, and it's just like, it's all of the new forms with their names, presumably, I guess. I guess I could technically use Ursaluna, which is Ursaring's new evolution, which adds ground type. But I don't know if I care enough about Ursaring. I've used Ursaring in my Crystal playthrough on Virtual Console, and I loved using it in that case, but I don't know how I feel about Ursaluna. And I think that's kind of the name of the game, right? Where it's just like, a lot of these designs are not necessarily bad, but you can definitely tell that like they cherry picked some of the designs for the pre-release, where it's like, oh, Voltorb is cute, Growlithe is super cute, the Zoroa line is super cool looking, right? And Braviary and Cleaver are like cool looking. Basculegion is cool looking. Weirdeer is like interesting looking, and it's like an interesting evolution to a Pokemon that nobody usually would give any time of day. But now it has an evolution and extra typing. So it's like interesting things. But then it's like, oh, Avalugg looks but ugly. And the weird Sneasel evolution is like, okay. Meanwhile, Basculin has a new form, and I don't know, I don't get it. I also don't really care for Lilligant's design. It feels like it's missing something. I do kind of like that it has like a root thing going on with its feet and its legs, but I don't know. It looks like it's missing something, especially compared to all the others. So in the end, this is kind of just like, a mess of a, a mess of a planning process compared to my Brilliant Diamond planning process, which was already a little bit harder on itself because it's like, oh, I want to use Pokemon that I've never used before, or Pokemon with new forms that I've never used before. So it's like, okay, I could get through that. There is a part of me that wishes that I had not played Diamond like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, because then maybe like I've already used Glaceon, so I could throw on Glaceon, but I don't know how I feel about that. And also we don't know how, like, I mean, obviously people are playing the game right now, but we don't really know how it's shaking out as far as like how you get certain Pokemon. Like, I don't know where to get an Eevee for that. So I don't know. This is kind of more of a open flow planning building team. One thing's for sure, I still love Typhlosion. I forgive it for not looking exactly the way that people thought it would, or that I thought it would. We'll see what it looks like with the flames. I'm sure that I'll get a picture of that at some point, even if it's not for this video. And I still love Basculation. Basculation is somehow so unbelievably cool, even though Basculin sucks. And honestly, I'm surprised how much I like Samurott. There's a part of me, here's a small part of me that would sacrifice Basculation if we could get the other two starters within the story of the game. And I would use an Oshawott on my team along with my Typhlosion. That way I could have both, best of both worlds, right? I would do that, I think, if that was possible. I don't think it is, but I definitely love Samurott's like darker helmet with the because it's water dark type, so it's lost its samurai code. Now it's a little bit more darker, and it's got some red on it, and it's very, very cool. I love it. I just wish I could see Typhlosion with its flames, because I think that would make a huge difference for my opinion, one way or the other, and I could kind of come up with a better idea of what I want to do with my team. In any event, let me know what you guys are thinking for your teams. What do you think of these new forms and the new Pokemon along with them? I know it's a mixed bag for sure, and obviously like the still images are not the whole picture. They're out of context, and it's hard to know for sure what they actually look like when they're moving around. Maybe they all look fine in game and it's just whatever, and I'm overthinking it. I'm probably overthinking it, but let me know what you guys thought about the new Pokemon. Please, absolutely no spoilers in the comment section about any of the story stuff. Obviously, there's no way to get around the Pokemon forms themselves, but I absolutely will not tolerate any story spoilers. If I get spoiled, or if anybody else in the comment section gets spoiled, I'm going to be very, very angry. That's my warning to you. No spoilers of story stuff going on here. And let me know. I'd love to have a conversation about the Pokemon themselves with you guys. Also, if you enjoyed anything I had to say today about any of the Pokemon, make sure to leave a like. I would greatly appreciate it. I will see you guys probably in another video very soon. So long.